What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, being a sneakerhead, while it is an expensive hobby, I do feel like I've learned quite a lot of life lessons from it. I've learned to budget better, balancing my passion for sneakers with some of life's other priorities. I've learned how to be patient, waiting for something you really want. And finally, maybe most important of all, I've learned what it feels like to be part of a community. All of you watching this video, I have enjoyed sharing this passion with you guys. But along the way, especially over the last year, I've definitely made some sneaker purchases that I regret, and I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about them in this video. And of course, I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments what's been some of your biggest sneaker mistakes. Any recent ones come to mind? Let me see those comments. And before we get started, I noticed that most of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. Now let's go into sneaker purchase regret number one, and it's actually a sneaker that I don't even own yet, but I've already paid for it. So it's actually a pre-order of a sneaker that I made several months ago. It's the Kith Adidas Gazelles, which I ordered back in February. It released as part of Kith's loyalty program, and I did order them at the time knowing full well that I wouldn't receive them for many months. Well, I have to say my opinion on the whole pre-order thing has definitely changed quite a bit recently. Now that I start to see more and more brands starting to do this, like for example, recently ALD announced their 860 V2s dropping in 3 different colorways, with a little caveat at the bottom saying that these sneakers are only actually going to be shipped out in February and March of next year. That's 2025, almost 9 months from now. I'm starting to think that brands are now maybe taking advantage of this whole pre-order thing. From the brand's point of view, it's pretty much an interest-free loan. And at the same time, for most of these pre-orders, they even have a no return policy. So even if you don't really like the shoe, you can return them. And let's be honest, from our point of view, from a consumer point of view, 6 to 9 months is just a bit ridiculous. I know that for me, when I buy a shoe, I'm pretty excited about it. But if I receive this shoe 6 to 9 months from now, I don't know if I'll still be excited about it then. So really the first reason why I regret that purchase is because I just feel like my money is simply just getting tied up right now. And the second reason why is because of my experience with this shoe. Now this is the Kith 8 Street Sambas, one of the 3 original colorways. And while I do love this shoe a lot, it's a very neutral shoe. You can wear it especially with soccer jerseys. That's what I was doing for the entire Euros this year. I have to say I don't really like how this shoe ages, especially the midsole. And if you've worn a pair of Clarks before, you would have already known this, but I guess I didn't, so I didn't really know that the shoe would age like this. Just look at how black and dirty that outsole is, and it's so dirty in fact that even if you're looking at the shoes from the side, because the midsole is translucent, you can kind of still see the dirty outsole from the side. Then honestly, this type of material, you can't really clean it, but I don't know if it's just me, I don't really like my shoes to look super dirty. At least with this pair, because the upper is already dark, it doesn't look that noticeable. But when you look at that Kith Gazelle pair, because the upper is more of like a very light beige color, I can't say I'm too excited about how that upper is gonna look when combined with a midsole like this. I think it might just be too contrasting. So while I am still looking forward to receiving that shoe, I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna end up keeping it. We'll see. The next sneaker purchase I regret is something I bought towards the end of last year, and that was the Jordan 4 Olive. And I don't regret this purchase because I don't like the shoe or anything like that. In fact, I think it's a great colorway. I regret it because this was one of the few times where I decided to pay resale and buy a shoe early because I was just so convinced it would sell out. I noticed that right before the release, the resale prices were not too bad, so what I ended up paying for the shoe was around $290, and I was almost 1000% convinced that this shoe would sell out and go for resale because it is a very similar colorway to the Undefeated 4s. But to my surprise, it did not sell out. In fact, if I wanted to, I could have even gotten this sneaker on sale. They were on sale for anywhere between 150 to 180 here in Europe. So I would have essentially saved about 100 euros if I just waited a bit. And because I really overpaid for that shoe, I have to admit it did kind of ruin the shoes for me. So the lesson I learned from that was that definitely nowadays there's simply no need to pay resale for sneakers, especially not to get them early, because nowadays most sneakers do end up sitting. And especially with Jordans now, even the Jordan 4s end up going on sale. Even those oxidized 4s, which I thought was a very nice colorway as well, those also hit the sales rack. I still have that pair of the Jordan 4 Olives. It's just sitting on ice right now. I'm waiting for maybe the fall season to break those out. I'm still a bit salty though for overpaying for those. Next is another pair of Jordan 4s that released earlier this year, and It really pains me to say this, guys, but I do regret purchasing these. I really can't even believe I'm saying this because I was so looking forward to the release of this shoe. It is my favorite colorway ever of the Jordan 4s, and I was so happy when I heard they were actually retroing it this year. But man, Jordan Brand had to really go ahead and ruin these for me because this is some of the worst quality we've seen on the Jordan 4, and I did say that in my review as well. But I also said that I was willing to overlook the poor quality and the lack of comfort just because I like this colorway so much. But I completely take that back. I take that back 100% because what I've noticed with me lately is that I simply care about comfort much more than anything else when deciding what sneakers to wear. I don't know if that's a getting older thing or not, but I simply refuse to wear shoes that make my feet hurt. But yeah, when I wear these now, guys, my pinky toe is getting destroyed. I just don't even want to walk in these, which is why I pretty much just leave the shoe in the box now, and I haven't worn them in over a month. If Jordan Brand actually gave us some pretty decent materials on this pair, like some nice soft leather, then I would definitely be wearing these a lot more. For example, those Jordan 4 oxidized greens, which I just talked about, that has some much more forgiving leather on the upper, and my feet actually don't even hurt in those. But these right here, guys, this cheap quality leather is really not doing it any favors, so I definitely regret buying these, especially considering the retail price on these is $210, which if you compare with some other brands like a New Balance or an Asics, if you spend more than $200 with those brands, you're definitely getting a high quality product with some nice materials as well as really good cushioning. I just don't think it's worth it anymore to spend $200 on Jordans, even if they are a really nice colorway like these Military 4s. So yeah, I do regret these. The next sneaker that I regret purchasing, and I promise this is gonna be the last Jordan that I talk about in this video, that is the Jordan 1 Low Neutral Gray, which I picked up earlier this year. And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with the shoe. I think it's a very nice looking shoe, very clean looking pair. I bought this shoe because it was on sale, so I got it for under retail. The mistake I made here was not buying the Jordan 1 Low Neutral Gray. It was buying the shoe because it was on sale. This was one of those shoes that I thought was really nice, but I definitely didn't need because I already have so many shoes that look quite similar, so many of these neutral shoes that you can kind of wear with anything. Buying a shoe simply because it's on sale, in my opinion, is just always a mistake, unless it's a sneaker that you really wanted and then you just happen to see a better price for it somewhere else. That's a whole different story. But I'm talking about sneakers that you just kind of want, you think they're kind of nice but you don't really want, then they go on sale for like 30% off, and now you're like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer, I gotta buy this. Well, it's not true. It's not a no-brainer. In fact, that money that you spent on that shoe, that's gone. It might have been less money than buying it for retail, but it's still money that, like I said, you could have used for something else. So I just think that buying something just because it's cheap is never a good idea. And my last sneaker that I regret purchasing, in fact, these are sneakers because this applies to an entire brand of sneaker for me, and that is Vans sneakers. There's never been a pair of Vans that I've bought and not regretted, and I keep buying more for some reason. And I regret buying them because I just feel like it doesn't fit my style at all. It's a sneaker that as soon as you wear them, I feel like it gives you definitely a bit of a skater boy type of look, a skating aesthetic, which it should. I mean, they are skateboarding shoes, but I always buy them with the intention of thinking I could style them when it doesn't really fit my style. Now, I haven't bought a pair of Vans in a while because I believe I have learned my lesson, so this really applies to all the ones I've bought in the past. But I guess the lesson here is don't try to be something you're not. Buy sneakers that fit your personal style and the clothes you have in your wardrobe. But that's about it for me, guys. I'm sorry if this felt like a bit of a rant video. I just wanted to share my thoughts, my experiences on some of the sneakers I regret, because I know a lot of you guys have definitely felt the same way about shoes that you've bought, and I cannot wait to read the comments. So let me know what sneakers you have bought that you regret. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram. Of course, that is where I am the most active. I'm dropping content on there daily. And also the sneaker podcast, the Kickback Pod, links can be found in the description. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and for supporting my content. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.